Before I start, I just want to say once again, I got nothing against the Thunder Wizard, and I know I come off as a prick, whereas if I don't like the guy, and that's not true. I think everybody, no matter what they do and say, is playing a role. And in that video, I kind of insulted some things about him. I think he's pretty accurate when he's talking about, it's kind of like that Hindu version of life. The way he explains it, how you picked what you're going to do. You picked the role you were going to play whenever you came here. So, and people, and this is exactly word for word, or not word for word, but, generally what I thought he said and how I picked it up anyways. And, people will say, well, that little baby in Africa or Ethiopia with one arm who's starving, and they picked that. And then he literally bluntly says, and that's one thing I really do love about the guy, he bluntly says, yeah, they fucking weren't learning their lessons. They weren't doing what they're supposed to come here to do. So they keep getting stuck in 9-to-5 grind or drug life or, a life of whatever. And even those technically could be picked and needed. And that's kind of my opinion. So, and that's kind of what I'm trying to say. But anyways, he says, that person needed to learn those lessons. So they gave him a hard time. So they have no choice but to do what they have to do. Because see how restricted you are with one arm and no fucking food? You have no choice but to go probably one way. One of my favorite lines from, I forget where I heard it. And then Katy Perry has it in a song Firework, a similar version of that same line. And it's, all the doors are closed for you. Basically, like, why does this happen to me? Why did all these things happen to me? Well, maybe things happen to you so that you have no choice but to go to the right fucking door. Like she says, all the doors are closed so you can open the right one or something to that effect. So it's one of my favorite lines because it reminds you that when things are going shit, it's for a reason. It's for you to fucking, and it's because you probably weren't going in the right direction. So, and he said that, and his perspective probably among many, and like me, like I don't have just, he probably has just one, because it's like when people have multiple versions of something. But for me, I bounce around with the idea of obviously reincarnation in the sense of we're all playing roles, So if right now Thunder Wizard's my bad guy, but to him, maybe I'm one of his bad guys or one of his annoying pieces of shit, people that comment and think they know everything and I don't know everything and I don't know anything. And he wishes I would just stop maybe or something like that. And to me, I'm the guy going to his channel to get ideas to talk about. I use him to talk about stuff, and I try to give him credit where I think he's right, and I try to correct where I think he's wrong. And that's why I'm allowed to do that on my channel. There's no way, shape, or form where he can say I can't do that. Now he can go on his channel and say I'm an idiot and do what he wants, and that's fine by me. I take no insults, and I care not what he thinks. But just so it's very clear, I hold nothing against the fucking guy. I think he really helped me understand that drug thing really well. Why my sleep paralysis keeps happening. Like I said, I saw the evil entity that people claim they see, and it's true, you do see it. My wife was the demon the one time, trying to kill me. Before that, there was another kind of Grim Reaper looking, scythe holding dude. And then the last one, you could feel that it was there, but you couldn't see it. And now when it happens, I don't get that at all. All I have is the feeling like I'm trying to float, but there's electricity holding me in place, okay? And it's like I can't move, I'm paralyzed, So that's where the whole sleep paralysis thing comes from. You're trying to get up, you're trying to move, you're trying to get the fuck out of there because something is either wrong. That's kind of what you assume, something's wrong. But maybe it's I'm trying to, I don't know. But all I feel is electricity, like being through a seizure, even though you never had a seizure, is the best way I can explain it, how it feels whenever I'm having my sleep paralysis. So, and if Thunder Wizard said he has it sometimes, then maybe he's doing shit too. Maybe once in a while he has a coffee and that's, stops it. So I'm not saying he's doing drugs or anything like that, but anyways, I had this really good insight when I was in the bathroom earlier. It just popped into my head and I love that. Oh yeah, it was about stuff popping in your head. It was about how this works. because he was also talking about, the one guy asked how to talk to Rahu, or he wants to have a conversation with Rahu, and he's like, well, you don't actually have a conversation with Rahu. It's like, it's not how it works. And Rahu and Ketu, if you're not sure, is the north node and south node. Rahu being the south, I think, and Ketu the north, but I'm not sure. That could be reversed. But yeah, the guy wanted to tell you, he's like, it's not going to be like that. You can ask them questions and things will play out within your life. And that's absolutely accurate, and I don't know why I feel the need to correct everything he says, but that's absolutely accurate. But here's another way you do it, okay? I keep telling people, get out there, get your own channels, get out there, start making content, whatever you want to talk about. It doesn't matter. If you're working with spirits, if you're working with, even if you're just giving a candle and an incense to the day of the week, asking for knowledge, well, here's what's going to happen. Every day of the week, you'll be in the bathroom like I just was, and shit'll come to you. And then it's up to you to either claim that you're brilliant and that you know everything and this is your intelligence, or you can do what people do, like I do. You can make it a big show too and be like, oh, I channeled the spirit of Diana, the moon, and she told me on Monday that blah, 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 blah. Or you do what I do and I just start talking about it. And then as I talk about the initial idea that came to me, I get more that come to me at the same fucking time. And it's coming from that source that I gave the candle to. It's coming from the energetic part of my body that's got the moon, wherever you want to think that is on your body. I'm not going to tell anybody where their chakras are. I'm sure there's a main layout for people, and I'm sure maybe some people vary, but once again, it's not something that's going to matter to me. Right now I use a certain diagram for mine, and that's that. But and just to elaborate for how it works for me when I deal with spirits, as of right now, this is aside from evocation and invocation, but invocation can work similarly, and so can evocation. I can't say that with any accuracy, because I've never done the type that I'm supposed to be doing. Like I said before, I did different types and they're not really it. And it was just because, like I said, I had a fear of spirits for the longest time. And it wasn't until, certain things that it allowed me to get past that. But I've mentioned that many times, so I'm not going to go through that. But no glasses today because I go with glasses all the time. And it's honestly because of the fact that I don't have much eyebrows and other things like that. That whole Taurus fucking shit. That makes me think about my appearance more than anything. But I don't want people or anybody else saying, well, he keeps glasses on, so we don't know when he's lying, So I took them off. Yeah, that's why I can monitor it. So you see, if I'm doing it often and if I am making stuff up, well, that needs to stop. Can't fucking say something and be a hypocrite about it. Although we all do it. I do it too. The things I call wizard out for, thunder wizard out for, I'm probably guilty of too. Everybody is. So once again, that's why this isn't personal. It doesn't mean I hate the guy. It doesn't mean I want him to change. He seems to be doing well for himself, and I hope he continues to do well. Maybe I'm trying to appeal to those people that go on his channel and don't take his advice and want to go somewhere else. Well, then, hey, you can fall on me. But once again, buying a program from somebody is an absolute great way to get what you need to get and get to where you need to get to. You are cutting out a lot of the man hours you're going to have to put into finding it, because as much as I think I've given a lot of information in my 327 videos on YouTube, throughout my podcast and everything else, there's no way I can give you everything. And just like the Thunder Wizard, he's been around longer than me. He's been diving into many different types of mysteries and magic schools and shamanism and whatever else. So he can give you all that experience, and that's going to be a hell of a lot, but he can't give you everything either. So you may need to go multiple places, but it's still a good way to start is to just, okay, shamanism, what kind of shamanism are you going to give me? Go, and you learn it. And then from there, pick up for the free book on YouTube. Initiation into Hermetics. And there's a lot of great practices in there, and there's not much candle magic or anything like that. It's all Hermeticism, and it's all mind magic. And once again, like I said, there's Frederick Xavier and others that say when you use purely all your mental thought capabilities, then you only get mental results. meaning you can't bring anything into the physical by just visualizing what you want. Nonetheless, like I said, Frater also says that, banishing things and accepting things will bring stuff into your life. And that's pretty much all mental, but it's grounded in the physical. So you got to find that line in between. Because if you're just visualizing stuff in your head, sorry, it's like 1 a.m. No, 3 a.m. If you're just visualizing stuff in your head, then, you're only using the subconscious. You're using the female mind. So you need both. So this is why you do ritual magic in a trance-like state with relaxed state, so you get out of the fight or flight reptilian brain. You get out of that. And you're accessing the limbic system where all the emotions are. That's why you need to get into the emotional. But you're also still in your conscious mind, but you're like when you get up to go pee in the middle of the night, okay? That's where you want to be when you're doing a ritual. Kind of awake, but kind of not awake, where it's hard to remember what you did, so you got to write it down right after. That's ideal when you want to be. So you have the subconscious wide open, which is your link to the divine, and you're able to talk to it directly. See, meditation, to me, is how I feel about it, but meditation is the opposite. Meditation is where you shut up your conscious mind, but you're still a little bit present, and you're listening for what the subconscious has to tell you. Ritual magic is just the opposite of that. This is why you have to do both. It's healthy. Give and take relationship. You listen to the subconscious, and then you talk to the subconscious, and then you listen. It's like a marriage. It's the male and female. It's the yin yang. It's the twin flame within you. It's connecting your subconscious to your conscious, and this has nothing to do with if you're a male or a female. People think females got to get in touch with their man side, and men got to get in touch with their woman side. And it's like, yeah, but not necessarily in that way. Like, you can be the manliest man, or the manliest girl, or the butchiest girl, or the girliest girl, and still be successful at this as long as you connect the man mind and the woman mind. The air and fire, the fire and earth minds, and you also need the other polarities in check, the positive and negative. You got to realize they're both good, and they can both be bad, and then you can be in balance, and shit's not going to rub you the wrong way. You're not going to care about what people think, and it's not going to matter to you that there's generations of people that might not be able to make up their mind. They don't have to make up their mind yet. Do you really want generations of people making up their mind right now? In this uncertain time? I don't. And you can say, yeah, they should just trust in their government. It's like, no, there's corruption. There's always been corruption. Well, then they shouldn't trust the government. Well, no, because the government does have good things they can offer. Like, if you get a job with the government, you're pretty much set. And it depends on how you feel about jobs and all that. But you might like doing administrative job. You might have went to school to be something high up. And, it doesn't matter. Anyways. But the point I was trying to get at is writing, automatic writing. That's one of the ways, and I don't like calling it automatic writing because people think, hey, I want to talk to my subconscious, so can you tell me something? And you wait, and it's kind of, because you're focused on it. It's not how it goes. Just start writing. Okay, I want to learn about this, or I want to know what I should do for a living. And then start writing. And you can say, well, what about? Well, about the things you wanted to do as a kid. And then that will spark more ideas, and then you get into like attracts like, right? So you're thinking about something specific, so things are going to come to you as long as you're relaxed and not trying too hard, trying so hard to think about something. Conscious mind, Mars takes over the man mind, and he's getting pissed off and all full of rage because you can't fucking think about it. Well, yeah, you're never going to grab it that way. You need the girl to come help you out and bail you out. Those guys know that. We're fucked. If we didn't have women, we'd be fucked, And, a guy and a guy is the same thing, probably. They need a girlier guy, or if they're the girlier guy, well, they need the man. Anyways, but that's a good way to access this part of your mind and get knowledge. But that's what I was telling. I had a lot. I was connecting some dots in the bathroom, and I forgot everything because I have a pen to write everything down. So, and once again, I'm trying to access it now, so it won't happen. So, but yeah, so this is how it works for me. I'm not saying that people make a big show out of it and say, hey, I was talking to Archangel Raphael, and he told me this, and they like go in and they roll their eyes in the back of their head and they start talking differently and all that. I'm not saying that's fake, okay? Because I've seen some weird shit. It's like, wow, they're either like an extraordinary actor or this shit's real. But anyways, so for me, this is how it works so far. Now, once I get further and it's like I have those experiences, well, then I might just say, you know what, fuck all that shit I said before, I won't delete it. But fuck, I'm so tired. Sorry, guys. This coffee thing's killing me. No coffee. But anyways, oh, fuck. For me, the way it comes in is like that. I'll have a random thought, and then as I engage that thought, more information comes. And this is one of those reasons why I know I am connected in my subconscious to my conscious mind, which means I'm connected to the unconscious, which gives me more information. So the collective unconscious is a different thing. You know, it says unconscious and subconscious are different things. And I guess it all depends on the collective unconscious or collective conscious, whichever one you want to use. I'm not going to nitpick, but I know some people use both, and it kind of makes me upset too, to a certain extent, because it's like, well, how can they both be the same thing? That's not accurate. But being connected to that, which we all are, even the person who's not aware that they're connected to it is connected to it. But the difference being that when they get their thoughts and all that, and that's where it's coming from, well, they're not controlling that, and neither am I necessarily, unless you can maintain your state. If you can maintain your emotional state, then you can somewhat control that. Meaning, you maintain a shitty ass mood, fear or anger, rage, then you're going to get all the thoughts. Maybe it's thought forms around you, maybe it's just thoughts floating in the air, maybe it's spirits, but you're going to, whatever is on the same vibrational hertz, or that you're in by being in that emotional state, you're going to connect with all those around you. That's why I say think about thoughts as spirits, and the Latin word for thoughts is spiritus, a word for air, the element air, air you breathe. Breathing is spiritus, air is spirit, all these things in different Old English, Old Latin, Spanish, all these different languages. I think even the first Germanic languages, also spir for breath, for air, for breathing, all these things. So it's connected. That's why the pentagram has spirit, but it also has air, and air is, anyways. The point is, you connect with that. That's that's like attracts like, okay? That's in the spiritual or the mental plane, let's say, okay? The mental plane and spiritual plane are kind of like different planes, but when I think the realms that we can't see, like the magical ones, like our visualizations in our mind, when you're doing, your ritual, or when you're visualizing what you want to happen, well, that's the mental plane, okay? Now, you gotta get stuff onto the astral plane for it to filter down to the physical, but you also have to be really good at the mental plane, which is visualizations, that kind of realm, before you can do the astral shit. That's how I learned it. But that's where this stuff comes through to you as well. But the people that aren't aware, they're not going to banish, reject, deny, and accept those ones that they do want. And sometimes you don't even have to do that. But by me running with the thought that comes in my head, like today, I started thinking about because it's like, oh, I should talk about the channeling thing. But anyway, so that's back to where I was going, was if you claim it as your own intelligence and that you're smart and you can do all this stuff and that you say is so awesome, well, then don't be surprised if you stop getting that information. Because what happens to the greedy kid who expects more and doesn't give credit and say thank you? They get bitch slapped by their dad if their dad's an asshole, and at best they just get cut off for a while until they realize to not bite the hand that feeds you. So this is why saying channeling isn't a bad thing. Channeling the spirit, even though it's not necessarily, to me, it's not completely accurate, because it's really just what we learned how to think, but with the added, banish or accept the thoughts you do want. You treat them like they're offers, and this is putting action into the thought. So then you have 2 steps already done there, and this is how you can get results, and this is how the Hermetic principles come into effect, and this is because you're using the male and the female, and you're using the polarity, and you're using the waxing and the waning, the law of rhythm, and you're using the law of mentalism, you're using the law of correspondence. You get all these in there with just banishing your thoughts, and then you add emotion to that, and it's like, bam, comes in your reality the minute you can fucking forget about it. Simple as that. And you need to keep reinforcing, reminding yourself that you manifest stuff, that it works, and all that shit. So yeah, anyways, I think that's enough for now, and hope you enjoyed, and have a great fucking day.